Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Block 8 Arena. And today we have the first JJK deck profile for you guys. And I'm really excited about this set completely. There are so many cool decks in this set, some amazing combos that you can pull off. And honestly, I have been excited to play this deck. And this is, of course, the blue Yuji slash Sakuna deck. This is by far the best deck probably in the JJK set. So we're going to go through it real quick. Of course, I've got my 3 action points, all Yuji themed. But to start off with, we've got 4 of the zero energy, 1 action Yujis. Those are a must in this deck because you're going to use those as raids. Then, of course, you've got Nabara. She is an amazing card for drawing 1, trashing 1. You can use this to trash, obviously, the Sakuna's fingers, so you can start piling up for those abilities. And then, of course, we've got 4 of Ino. I'm running 4 Ino over a couple of other options just because I get to draw 1 off of his trigger, and I just think that's nice to have, to be able to just draw a card and just be like, cool, now maybe that the more you mill your deck kind of thing, the better it is for you, because you want to try and get as many Sakuna fingers, and you want to just kind of get your flow started. So those are my zeros. I'm running 2 Nabaras that basically, when played, return a card, and to play this kind of thing. So I got 2 energy. I usually send the 0 Nabara to hand so I can get another draw 1, trash 1. So that's that. That is my tech choice. The choices I have for my 2 energy generators. Of course, I have Gojo. That's just when he's active, you get the rested energy or an extra energy. So those are kind of like my 2 energy based cards, along with this 3-drop Yuji and this action 2 Yuji. These are my other energy 2 generators. They're both obviously choices for rating for Sakuna, as well as Yuji. This one, when it's my opponent's turn, if I have a Sakuna's finger on my sideline, he gains an extra 1,000. And then this one lets me sideline a character with 3,500 BP. And if I have Sakuna's finger, I can sideline it. And if I have so many of them, I can... Sorry, hold on a second. Oh, sorry, I return to their hand if I have 1 Sakuna's finger, 1 to 2, and then if I have 3 to 4, I can sideline it instead. But this is an action 2, which kind of sucks to have an action 2, because that takes up almost your whole turn. But if you pair it the domain expansion, then it's pretty good and helpful. I'm also running 2 of the Maki Zenins. These are just early cards that I can again start doing that draw trash factor. On my opponent's turn, she gets an extra 1,000, but during my turn, she's at 1,500. But honestly, I'm just kind of playing her out on board, getting that look at the top 2, draw 1, trash the other, and then I'm going to maybe bounce her back if possible, kind of get that going as well. That's just a kind of a tech choice option there that I'm running. Then I'm running 2 of the Yuji. All right, let me just kind of move these out of the way for now. We're also running 2 of the Yuji cards. I like this card just because it is a card that I can raid out. I can return a card to my opponent's hand. Very good. I want to run 4 of, but right now I only have 2, so I'm just kind of sticking with 2 at the moment. And because I'm only running 2, I'm running a little bit more of other cards instead. But I would like to run a total of 4 of those in the deck if I get a chance. And then, of course, I'm running 4 of the Sakunas from the starter deck. That gives me impact plus 1,000 depending on if I have for how many Sakuna's fingers is in the graveyard. These are my 2 main targets basically that I'm gonna be playing. And then my 3rd raid option, of course, is the rare Sakuna. And this card is just really good for freezing a character on board and then looking through my deck for a Sakuna's finger. And that's the whole point of this deck, is to have Sakuna's finger, rather in all 4 in the graveyard if possible. And you can also use it to draw a card. You also get to restand that action point. So very, very good card. But these are the current cards I'm looking for. I'm honestly debating on dropping this down by 1 and this one down by 1 when I get the other 2 Yujis. Or I'll drop another card entirely. I'm not quite sure what's going to go out once I get the 4 Sakuna's, or the 4th of the 3rd and 4th Yujis. And then, of course, again, I'm running the 4 Sakuna's fingers. You have to run 4 of this if you're doing the Sakuna's finger package. Again, this card allows you to rest a Yuji on your board to draw a card, and then you can restand the action point. So this is basically a free draw If you do not have a Yuji on board to rest, you take the top of your life. So that is probably the one reason I won't use this card for, is that. I will find other ways. I would rather just trash it outright with Nabara than to do that, to be honest. Then I'm running 4 Divergent Fists. This is the card that pretty much every deck runs, and it just lets me pop something on the board. I need that for the sake of clearing board, getting off characters on the board that I need to get rid of. And of course, we run 4 of the Domain Expansion, which is the Bankai and the Hero's License, and the card for that every set gets that lets you resand action points. That's basically what these cards. These are, I think every deck's going to run a KO something on board and a version of this that lets you restand your action points. I think every deck will run those cards regardless. And then, of course, I am running 2 of the Malevolent Shrine, which I've debated on removing 1 for a Yuji once I get it. But this card is so good because when I can switch it to resting, and then I can choose a Sakuna on my board and give it all the effects depending on how many of the fingers I have in the graveyard. So if I have 2 or more, he gets damage 2. If I have 3 or more, he gets snipe. And if I have 4 or more, he has impact +1. So I could give something impact, 2 damage, and snipe. And that's just crazy if I can pull that all off. Normally I do like combos and stuff. I did combos for a couple of videos I did before, but I'm not 100% sure how I want to do the deck profiles for the most part. Basically the gist of this deck, if you're wanting to know how this deck works, you're going to be focusing on getting these specific cards in your hand. You're going to want these 3 options of raid. You're going to want these cards in general to be able to do your thing. And you're going to want to use, rather than these Nabaras, or you're going to want to use, yeah, I think that's on the card. Oh, sorry, and the Maki Zenin. So Maki Zenin and Nabara are going to be your choice for being able to get stuff in the graveyard. And the cards you want in the graveyard are these 4 cards. You want to get all 4 of these cards in the graveyard as soon as possible so you can use the benefits of Malevolent Shrine as well as the effects of your Sakuna. And you can also outright search the Sakuna's fingers with this card as well as the Malevolent Shrine. So that's kind of the purpose of this deck. You're wanting to just cycle your graveyard, get Sakuna's fingers in your graveyard, and then start popping off your abilities and doing damage. This deck is very hard to deal with at times because once you start going and you remove board, you gain the powers, you get snipe off the Malevolent Shrines. Like once you start doing that stuff, it becomes so powerful and hard to deal with. The biggest issue I've ran with this deck is if I don't get these and I have this, then there's just this card literally is just a 1 energy card, and then I'm just kind of stuck. But for the most part, you shouldn't have that issue when you're cycling through your deck as much as you are. If you don't have them, do extra draws. But this is one of my favorite decks so far that I've played. I love the little bit of control that it has, and I also just love the in general play style of it. And he's such a cool character. Yuji and Sakuna are both just really awesome characters. But yeah, this is probably one of the best decks coming out of the JJK set. This is just the first deck profile I'm going to be doing for the JJK set. So be looking forward to the other ones. I have about 4 more decks to show off for JJK. So do not go anywhere. We have more deck profiles coming your way. And then don't forget, we also have Code Geass very soon, and we'll have deck profiles and unboxings for those as well. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time when we're back in the arena.